One of the things that I realized when it comes to building teams and building companies is that there's one word really changes everything. And I'm gonna go over the 5 ways to improve your company's culture, improve your company's profits with this one word called recognition, okay? My name is Michael Barayev, and I built a team of over 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with 0 money invested, and now we have a solar company that's growing like crazy from coast to coast like butter on toast. So, when it comes to recognition, right, a lot of people need to understand, like, what are the 5 areas that you could apply, recognition. And I learned this from a video that I watched not too long ago on YouTube somewhere else. I forgot the name of the person, but long story short, I was watching, and it was interesting to know that a lot of people, when they're building their teams and building their companies, they don't use this word. They don't recognize their people. They don't recognize, people's achievements and make people feel good. And I learned a long time ago by, going to a business event one time, and I was part of a, network marketing business, back when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. And one of the things that I loved about it was my first time going to a meeting, I actually sat in the freaking front, listening to the speaker speak, and they were literally bringing up people like left and right, couples, single people, and they were recognizing them for their successes. And one of the crazy thing is that the person they recognized, there was this kid that was 25 years old who started at 19, right? And I was 19, and he was Jewish, I was Jewish. I was able to relate to him because he was very similar personality to me. And, the person who brought me down to that event came up and introduced me to him after the meeting. And that's how I kind of got started in that business, right? And because they recognized that individual, I was able to be inspired and go create success for my future and my family, right? So recognition is very powerful. It's not just for the person to be, feeling good about themselves or to motivate people and stuff like that. It's a very, very powerful tool that helps you do 5 things, right? Now, I want you to remember this. If you do have recognition as an individual, if you get recognized, remember this. Recognition is poisonous if you swallow it. Don't forget that. One of my mentors told me this a long time ago. When you get recognized and you feel that amazing feeling of recognition, don't swallow it. Okay? Spit it out, meaning pass it on to the next person, right? So if someone comes up to you and says, wow, you're amazing, you're so amazing, you're this and that, don't just say, yes, I am, and eat it in your head, right? And you need to what? Spit it out. Pass it back on to them. Right? Be humble with who you are, even though the recognition comes to you when there's massive success. So let's talk about the 5 areas that you can actually improve and apply in your business, because recognition is going to change that, right? So number 1 is employee turnover. Okay? If you recognize your people, we do recognition here every single day in all of our offices. You create success, we recognize you for yesterday's successes. You create success last week, last month, we recognize that in front of everyone. It's not, there's a few ways to do it. You could do it privately. You could praise them privately. Number 2, you can praise them in public, okay? Or number 3, you can have their peers praise each other, which is even more powerful, right? So you could do it in private, you could do it in public, but you can also have your peers and have their peers talk about them and recognize them, which is way, way, way more powerful, because it's not coming from the CEO or the manager or whoever, right, that has authority and power. So employee turnover, like when you want to reduce your employee turnover, you have to remember that people are people, and you got to recognize them for their hard work. And if they're not doing a hard enough job, maybe that's why, because you're not recognizing for what they're actually doing. Like, recognize them, add value to them, make them feel special, right? Do it in private, do it in public, let people talk about each other, right? And the second thing that, the other second area is the culture, right? When you recognize people, right, it improves the culture, because now people are excited to be part of that environment. I remember I used to have an office where people did not want to come into the office, right? This is when I first started building my teams. And the reason why they didn't want to come into the office was because nobody was getting recognized. They were getting badgered every single day. You're not doing this, you're not doing that, you suck, you this, you that. And that's why they didn't want to come, because nobody was being uplifted in that environment. And what I learned a long time ago was that if I'm going to be building an office, I'm going to recognize everybody, even if they're trying their best and it sucks and they're getting punched in the face. Even through their failures, I'm going to recognize it, because that's part of the culture. Okay, it improves the culture that way. And what happens is you're able to have a massive, massive, massive recruiting spree, because people want to be part of that, right? Which is the third thing, right? You start attracting people from other companies, because everybody wants to be part of a company that has a vibrant culture where people are getting recognized and upbeat and uplifted at all given times, right? People want to be part of an environment where they're not getting beat down every second. And when you empower people, people want to be recruited. Your people are going to recruit other people into the company. We don't have a recruiting problem in our company, because people recruit everybody. Why is that? Why do we have this? We don't have that problem. The reason is because people get recognized here for the effort they put into the business. Now, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, of course we have conversations. We have those critical conversations, of course. But everything they do, even whether it's small, the smallest thing possible, we recognize them. We value them. We value that, right? The fourth area that it actually helps, recognition helps in your business is that you actually have more engagement, right? What I realize is that when you're dealing with people, right, and you're coaching them, mentoring them, and you're trying to get people on the same page, it's very difficult to get everyone to think the same way, to act the same way. But when you recognize people and you make them feel special, they start to create engagement with you, with their peers, with everyone else around you. So with recognition, it's a very powerful tool to make people feel more comfortable to engage with you and be part of the environment. And now they take responsibility for the company's growth. You see, if I'm the only one that cares about the company growing, that's not going to happen. It's not going to work. I need a whole team of that. Like, I'll give you guys an example. I have 3 people helping me with my social media stuff, right? I got the videographer, I got the editor, and I got the social media guy, right? I got 3 people working, right? You guys get a chance to meet Eric one of these days, right? But this team, the only way they operate is if I edify them and I recognize their hard work, even though it may seem very small. I'll say, thank you for coming today. Thank you for taking the video. I appreciate your support. I'm always trying to make them feel good because I know that I can't do this by myself. And in order for them to care about my social media growing, in order for them to care about my videos, I have to let them know I appreciate their work. I got to recognize them. And I don't just do it privately. I do it publicly. I also do it in a group chat setting so other peers can see it. I also do it in a way where I tell, hey, Eric, tell Ben is doing an amazing job. Hey, Malik, tell Eric is doing an amazing job. Because I want them to love each other, help each other out because we're a fucking team. We're a team. And that's how you create engagement, right? And that's part of the culture as well. And number 5, what ends up happening when you have recognition like that, people love each other, everyone's edifying each other. Now you have profits. Now you have money coming in because when you recognize people, they're a powerful force out there. They feel confident, they feel superb, they feel ready to conquer, and now you have profits coming into your business. So if you're not having a lot of profits, you have a very bad retention rate, and you have a lot of people canceling on you and a lot of people not making it to the offices because something is wrong with your culture where people are not being recognized. They're not recognized. Now we're going to go into what do you recognize people for, right? We talked about what you need to do. Now, how do you do it? What do you recognize, right? So what I recognize is 4 things that I like to focus on, okay? Number 1 is effort, work ethic. They're pushing, they're shoving, they're trying, they're doing what they got to do, okay? They're making it happen. They're taking their time and energy and putting a lot of force into it. They may not have results, that's okay, but I'm looking for effort. If there's no effort, there's no action, then I can't help them. But if there's effort, they're pushing, they're trying, I'm gonna recognize that. I'm gonna say, hey, good job, man. I appreciate your effort. I know you've been doing X, Y, and Z. And by the way, don't just say, hey, I appreciate your work. Be specific to what they did. Hey, listen, I appreciate you do X, Y, Z. I know you didn't get the result yet, but it's okay. Keep going, man. I got your back. I expect a lot from you. Let's go, baby. You're amazing, right? And what it does is builds belief in people. Okay. Number 2 is the outcome. If there's a result, they make a sale, right? We do comical up here. We show off people's checks. There's an outcome. There's a result. There's performance. There's a performance-based business. Whether it's a janitor, whether it's the videographer, whether it's the vice president, it doesn't matter. It's all performance-based. Even if you have a salary, it's performance-based. You don't perform, you ain't getting paid, man. That's the way it is. So I'm looking for outcomes, right? The next thing that I love to recognize people for is KPIs or milestones or certain things they hit in the company. Like they hit a certain level, they hit a certain KPI. That's outside of the result, right? It's outside of the effort. They actually hit something. Right? There wasn't no crazy outcome. It's just a little KPI. Hey, listen, you hit your numbers. You were hitting your numbers. We used to have a 40% show rate when it comes to the appointment setting. Now it's 50%. That's amazing. Congratulations. Keep it up. I love it. I'm inspired by that, right? That makes them feel amazing and keeps them, in the hunt and pushing and striving for more, right? And number 4 is I recognize them on the values on our company, the cultural stuff. For example, somebody today, and I saw that, one of the girls today in our company, she took somebody home for like a week because his car broke down, and she took $40 out of her pocket and spent extra money on gas just to take him home. We commended that, right? We love that. All of a sudden, this is how powerful to see the culture. One of the leaders in the office was like, "Hey, how much did you pay for that?" She's like $40 because she's not a leader yet. I mean, she's trying to be a leader. She's obviously leading from the front by doing that. But like one of the positional leaders, I would say, that has a position in the company, is also a good leader. He literally said, you know what? How much did you pay for that? It's like $40. He said, awesome. I'm cash out you right now, $40. Now I saw that and I was impressed. To me, that blew my mind. I'm like, wow. Two people caring about another person. She's caring about him. He's caring about him. Her. Everyone's caring about each other. It's amazing. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's what recognition is about. So guess what? Tomorrow, when we have the whole team here, I'm going to recognize both of that in front of the whole team. Right? I didn't get a chance to do it today, but guess what? I have that in my mind because that's important to recognize. That's powerful. It's not just outcomes and performances. It's not just about the effort. It's not just about KPIs. This is cultural stuff. This is amazing because I want my culture to be like that. I want them to serve each other when there's no financial gain technically. You understand what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about how you want to run your business or your team or your office or your little squad. So my question to you is very simple. Do you want to operate in a business that's growing or decaying? If you want it to grow, you have to implement recognition. You have to. Recognize everyone around you, okay? And remember, recognition is poisonous if you swallow it. Don't forget to spit it out. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, like, drop a comment, hit that notification bell so you can see these videos popping out. Every single day we're popping out some amazing videos, whether it's interviews, business content, whatever it may be. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.